Hello and welcome to today's twin flame reading for the divine masculine and the divine feminine and the current union energy going on for twin flames. And yeah, I'm noticing sometimes when I put out my readings really late, I just get around to it as soon as I can, and it takes a little while to process the video and everything. So last night for me, I put it out 2 a.m. my time, which is Pacific time, and it did pretty well. So I'm definitely curious when everyone is watching these, and if it's really late night for you or early morning, or what the deal is. You're waking up early to watch card reading, or you're staying up super late. But anyways, yeah, definitely curious, and should I just be putting out my card readings at 2 a.m. in the morning every time? Maybe so. But I did want to just mention that the sun, your kind of what's known as your zodiac sign. So sun is moving into Virgo tomorrow, technically tomorrow. So it's just something to keep in mind. We're moving from that Leo energy, which is, more creative in the spotlight, and we're kind of moving towards something that's, not like, of course Leo can, I'm not saying, if you're a Leo you're not structured, and of course there's all kinds of other things going on with your personal astrology, your personal experiences, but yeah, Virgo is definitely gonna have a more structuring kind of feel and energy to it. And also with Mercury, right, also going in to Virgo recently. What was that, on Wednesday? I think it went into it. On Wednesday it went into Virgo. So definitely a decent amount of that Virgo energy going on there. And so yeah, maybe you'll feel like cleaning, or organizing. We'll see. I mean, there's other wonderful things about Virgo too, not just those things. But a little more of a grounding energy as well. So yeah, that being said, we can just get started with these cards. So I have Crystal Angels by Doreen Virtue, and I also have Eternal Crystals by Jade Sky for kind of wrapping together some of that union energy and how everything balances out. So we'll start today with the Divine Masculine, just, get started there. And we have a spiritual path card, and it's turquoise, and I did pull turquoise for the Divine Masculine the other day in another deck, which is the deck I have right here, the Eternal Crystals one. It's a very different representation of turquoise here. Your true beliefs are becoming clearer to you, which prompts you to make necessary life changes. And isn't that what a spiritual path is really all about? I think we over woo-woo spirituality, in a lot of ways, and then spirituality is just, it's a part of life, you can't really fully get around it. You can try, but it is really at the core of everything, because it's all about your inner reality and love, and I mean your outer reality is not separate from that anyway. So something being, in spiritual truth, or whatever, these kinds of concepts and ideas, well, they're just based in love, and they are helping you get to really the core of the truth. But the thing is, spirituality can also be a way of avoiding, I guess, more grounded conversations within yourself or with others, including with your twin flame, right? And so I think this Virgo energy is really going to help the Divine Masculine to ground his spiritual path. And that's that's what a path is, right? It's you're walking the path. So it's you are grounding into your spirituality. And choosing ascension doesn't mean going off the planet or swearing off material goods or only eating, rice and whatever every day or whatever. no, spiritual path and being one with God means you get to enjoy everything the way that you are meant to. And at different points in your life, that is going to look different. And sometimes we do feel very called to put up a really clear boundary against something, or I don't know if against is really the best word, but just like, like I'm just going to put my crystals away for a month because I'm kind of almost like have a codependent relationship with my crystals, as an example. I don't really actually feel that way. I use them for card readings and stuff, but they're just here. They kind of feel really just like an easy thing in my environment. But I know that this can happen with a lot of things. It can happen with plant medicine too, like and I don't just mean, like getting high or anything like that, but I just mean like natural remedies can seem really great, and they are, but when you become like, dependent on something other than source, as your primary, then you're trying to make the thing your source, and it's not. So yeah, like you can kind of place too much energy into stuff outside of yourself, even as you're walking on your spiritual path. And so this is really about bringing it back to like the core of what you're doing, to the core of love, and grounding into that, and just like taking that one step at a time. And it might like speak to getting your shit together too, like there might just be somewhere something isn't really like it wasn't quite coming together, and you're able to kind of see the divine order of something and take necessary action steps in that particular area. So it's a really blessed sign for that, for the divine masculine. And for the divine feminine, multifaceted. I feel like this card comes up more often for the divine feminine when I use this deck, so that's kind of funny because it's like, that idea like women are complicated, multifaceted, nuanced, this and that. And so, you could just feel into that, and if there is like anything there that is triggering for you, or just the idea of having to work through the next layer of something feels, if it doesn't feel so good, feel into that, because it's actually like a blessing. It's like you've come full circle, and that's not a bad thing. So even if something feels like, oh my God, like for me, I was having feelings come up today that felt like something I'd been feeling in January, but this time I was able to like go much deeper with it and feel through it, and really like make a deeper choice to choose love in that area of my consciousness. But was it like a real fun thing to feel through that feeling? No, it wasn't very pleasant, but I would rather feel through it and get to the other side, because otherwise that thing is just going to be lingering there until you basically are, I guess in another way confronted with it. I mean, it's like once you feel something, you might as well just like go full throttle as much as you are able and, called to. And that's really what the mirror exercise is for. That's what your spiritual work is for. And so doing the mirror exercise that Jeff and Shalia teach is something I highly recommend, because it really helps you get to the core of, the core of the thing, but also like the core of the next layer, so that it's like you can completely release, that level. It's like levels in a video game. You move to the next level, but it doesn't mean you aren't going to encounter some of the same things, and this time you're more equipped with, cooler stuff. Maybe even the surroundings are like, way more like interesting on this next level, or whatever it is. But it's an inner journey, so it's about like as you polish yourself and like get clear in these places, you do get to experience more peace and joy and love and more union, in your entire life, and including with your twin flames. You can really feel into that in your heart, and consider investing in yourself, investing in this work. doing coaching and doing these things that are really going to help you move through this stuff like at an incredibly accelerated rate. And so yeah, like my links are below if you want to check that out. And that's not just for the divine feminine, of course it's the divine masculine too, but yeah, just like you're not meant to do this alone. You're not meant to just like stay in this multifaceted place and like, just kind of have to, be on a struggle bus. So just because if something feels that way, you can really consider it a blessing, and that there's something in your life that wants to shift, that's really calling for love. And so when you're bringing love there, you're really like, you're tipping that scale, in ever in your favor, because that's what God is. Like, God is ever in your favor. Yeah, so, and if you're asking about your twin flame right now and you're wondering, like, this is where you need to go, where I just said, within, and like healing and working on you. And you can see how the divine masculine is doing this in his own way as well. And like I mentioned, and like, is happening, it's the sun moving into Virgo, well, depending on what kind of astrology you follow. But yeah, moving into Virgo, and so it's bringing a more grounded energy and a different kind of ability to kind of like clean up these layers, if you will. And so yeah, that could be really refreshing to just go to those places and get it done. Okay, well, let's move on to the middle cards. So first card is Eternal Crystals, again by Jade Sky. And we have moon cycles, crown chakra. So yeah, this card is speaking to rhythms. It's kind of grounding that spiritual energy. The moon is something a lot of people kind of, almost like to make fun of, like, oh, what's the moon doing? You're a witch who, worships the moon, something like weird about the moon. I mean, it's like a thing in the sky that does have quite an impact on everyone. And yeah, I mean, it's not like you can blame the moon for your actions and emotions, but at the same time it comes into play like anything else. Like, it's really hot outside, so you might feel a certain way when you're outside. Well, if the moon is full, that's just like a part of the weather. And yeah, I mean, in ascending, you're going to transcend whatever it is about the experience that isn't really like just perfectly divine, perfect, because that's what perfect union is. But yeah, it doesn't make the moon not there. So yeah, this is like grounding that spiritual side of whoa, my emotions are so big, or like, oh, like being in your higher chakras, and really asking you to bring it down, and to, look at the rhythms in your life. Like, are you sleeping regularly? Are you eating regularly? Like, what are you doing to really like ground yourself and fortify yourself and keep your foundation steady, and what needs work there? And at the same time, it is speaking to your crown chakra. So it's like letting more of the divine work through you, knowing that it's not your job to control and do these things on your own. And so it's safe to be shown new ways to do things, and it's safe to just surrender there, and not also not try to do too much. It's more important that you really focus on the truth of feeling good and like love, and where that's calling you to go, even if it is calling you to go into places that just feel uncomfortable, so that you can heal and align there. It's still calling you forth and magnetizing you to the truth of aligning to love and union. So yeah, just allow your crown chakra to like let it in, and also to let out what no longer serves you. So if you're experiencing upheaval, it's safe to let that out as well, easily. And the last card we have, which is upside down by the way, so I feel like there's an extra emphasis here, is ready to love again. So you've healed from the past enough to open your heart to new love. And I would say like new or renewed, but just that newness feeling. And it is very important to feel that on your twin flame journey, regardless if your twin flame is like who you've always felt them to be, or if it turns out this person was just leading you to your true twin flame. The point is radical non-attachment, and so sometimes we're given, specific guidance or called to release attachments, but it's really just for the purpose of keeping that place in your heart really perfect, and allowing your whole self to vibrate to that place of harmonious union within. And so it's really important to release attachments, and even if they are to your true twin flame, it kind of doesn't matter, because it's not healthy to have a codependent relationship with them, and that will not help your ascension journey. And so and same thing for everyone else. And this speaks to kind of what I was saying earlier too, about not just people or I guess animals, living, what we think of as living beings, although your whole reality is like alive in a way, but things that you may have attachments to, that you might need to put away for a while, take a break from, and then when you can really integrate more deeply into yourself, in union, in that place with yourself, you can reincorporate these things back in a healthy way sometimes. And I mean, this can go for people too. Sometimes it's not working, so you need a boundary there, but it will always be revealed to you if the person is there to have a relationship of unconditional love with you or not. And at some point it becomes pretty clear. But even with very strong no, nothing is ever set in stone, right? Because everyone's a child of God, and everyone is meant to come back home and does. So there is a place within where you know and feel that that's true. And so there's always that possibility, but you can also just completely release attachment, because in kind of leaving yourself open to that possibility, you usually are actually leaking energy and thinking that someone is going to change, or that somehow that's going to help them change. And so you don't want to do that. It's up to the person. They're just like you. They have the ability to make choices just like you do. There's nothing that's stopping them. It doesn't matter what kind of hardships they've gone through in their life. They could still make a choice to love or not. It doesn't mean help them appropriately when you feel called to, if someone's having a hard time. Be a friend, be a good person, but it needs to come from the right place, and it's not your energy that you need to give to another. It's source's energy through you when you feel truly called, in your heart, and it feels good to extend yourself in that way. So the underlying message after really saying all that's coming through though is, in learning these valuable lessons of relationships, you really do become ready to love again in the correct way, your twin flame in you. So it's really important to keep going here, and know that what you're doing is indeed for harmonizing your union on deeper levels, and to trust that you doing the work is enough. And if you want to invest in teachings that work, there are links below, and there is a sale going on through the 23rd of August at midnight Eastern Time for all Twin Flames Universe memberships and products, and Twin Flame Ascension School, being a really the core teaching there for harmonious twin flame union, and now's the time, you know, if you've been thinking about it. And then you also do get like extra support. Like you get free coaching sessions with me. You get a discussion group every week. So yeah, you can also email me if you have questions. Check out the links below. And if you're serious about your journey, like there's that desire in your heart, so really listen to it. It's safe to move forward there. You're only going to be given to on that whole new next level, and you're going to call in more love into your life, not just calling in, magnetizing your harmonious union, your twin flame, harmonizing with you, but also other areas of your life as well. So this is also about ready to love again, like ready to love your life purpose again on a new level and things like that. So don't be surprised if you have some, kind of epiphanies coming to you, not just about your twin flame journey, but about everything that's related as well. And yeah, don't take them for granted when they come to you. There's something important there to look at and to feel through for a possible next step or open door or something. So yeah, that feels good and complete. And yeah, take care. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe, and I will see you again very soon. Have an amazing and beautiful weekend ahead, and happy Virgo season.